Hello, this video is going to give you a quick overview on the Project Management for Charter Schools online course developed by WRCCS. Essentially, this course is all about what are the essentials for making a project successful. And the way we see it based on our experience of both successful and unsuccessful projects is it boils down to these essentials. The first one is we have to establish a foundation for the project. So that includes establishing a clear purpose and also figuring out most importantly, what you're not going to be doing. A lot of projects suffer from trying to do too much in too short a time for too many different people. So I really want to focus in on specifically what this project is all about and be super vigilant about sticking to that. The second part of establishing a good foundation is the idea of an agile mindset. And this is essentially planning for reality, trying little parts of the project, learning from it, and then growing based on that. So we're not trying to plan and do it too much at once based on a lot of unknowns. You have a way of kind of breaking it down into small chunks and then doing what's called sprints. You do a little bit of work and then you see how it went, and then you kind of build from there. Once you kind of establish a good foundation, then it's time to kind of establish the tools. And you really need to talk about technology tools in three main categories. One is coordination, and that's essentially making project progress visible. Who's doing what, when, and what's been done. And the more we can make that visible and accessible to all members of the project team, the more smooth the project goes. The second area is collaboration. So almost all projects have to produce something, and there's usually digital files and different things involved in that. So we need to establish one central source of truth, one central repository for where to go for files. If you have things scattered over all different types of platforms and tools, then it just creates unnecessary friction in a project. And the last one is more about minimizing the tools rather than picking a tool. Everyone uses email and messaging and different kinds of forms of communication. That's actually the problem today, is that there's too many options for communication. So part of establishing a technology toolkit is also saying we are only going to be using these specific tools, and it's not acceptable within the context of the project to kind of be doing one thing on email and next thing on Slack and another thing on an instant message, other instant messaging tools. So you want to establish what are the specific communication channels for this project. And then the last piece is about the learning process. So how are you as a team both taking time to improve your skills to make the rest of the project go well, and also taking time out of probably what is a busy schedule to actually reflect on what's been done so far and adapt accordingly. And if you're missing out on that discussion, then you're actually missing out on opportunities to learn and guide the project in a successful way. And part of doing that is something called the Agile Retrospective. And that's basically a technique for having a team think through what's going well, what needs work, and try to adapt accordingly. If you do the online course, we actually have a template that helps you kind of follow through this for projects big or small. The only real difference is how much time you have to spend establishing all these things. In a small project, you can kind of run through this checklist really quickly, get it established, and then do the project. On something bigger, you probably have a bigger team. You have to spend more time really narrowing on your purpose and establishing this mindset within the team and everything else. So that is the quick overview on project management for charter schools. If you want to learn more, head on over to WRCCS.org and sign up for the online course.